a knockout could also be like, say that you have like a project to do. Like, oh, we could knock it out really quickly. We can get it done very quickly. Or maybe you have, like in some businesses, you have a business deal, right? Oh, this business deal is gonna be a knockout. It's gonna be easy to do. So it can have many different meanings. It's just basically saying that it's going to get done, or it's easy to do, or it's, you know, the level of it is so great that it knocks you out. Okay? So depending on context, it can be different things. Knockout. Yeah. So it can mean like very beautiful or handsome. Get it done quickly or easily, or an easy task. Those are the different uses that you could use it for. Right. Alright. What else?
Come to blow over something.
Come to blows, not blows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So blow, it's not like was it tray? Blow.
Tray.
Tray. It's not that type. Blow is like to receive a blow is to receive a hit.
Hit.
Right? So that's a blow. Okay? And it's not talking about, it's a different type of blow. Okay? So come to blows means that like the argument has gotten so big that a fight might break out. Okay? So okay, so nice haircut. Almost didn't recognize you. So we got Melody. We got Daniel. Okay. Alright, so yeah, so come to blows. So it can mean both a physical fight, or it can mean like insults are being thrown. So like in business, very few times will you have an argument so bad a fist fight will break out. Like maybe 99.999% of the time it won't happen. But if they're talking about come to blows in business, maybe they're talking about the argument's gotten so bad that you start to insult each other. Right? So instead of physical hits, you're hitting with words. Okay? So in this phrase, blows means hits.
Hits.
Okay? So whether it's a physical hit or whether it's a insult, those are the blows that it's talking about. So if it's gotten so bad it will come to blows, it just means it's gotten so bad that the argument is like, it's almost like the relationship is beyond repair. Like it's so bad, right? Because if you get into a fight with someone, you're not going to be friends afterwards, right? Most of the time, okay? Unless you're such good friends before that you can have a fight and then 5 minutes later you're back to joking around. I have a couple friends like that. But they're more like brothers than friends. Okay? So that's come to blows. Other phrases, Danny, you look like you have something. I can always tell because you do the, not sure if you should raise your hand or not. So yes.
I also got a haircut.
Nice
Hey,
haircut.
You got a haircut? It looks like you got them all. So,
No, this is not my question. My question is,
Danny, you look handsome. I like the haircut. Okay, does that make you feel better? Okay, there you go. You're a knockout, buddy. You're a knockout. Okay.
Okay. My question is, why is the rule? Please leave as is.
Leave as is. Okay. So it would be as is. So it comes as is. Leave it as is means no changes. So I'm selling this stool. It comes as is. 500 NT as is. I won't make any changes to it. You can't bargain. It's just coming that way. 500 NT. That's it. No changes. As is.
No
So
changes.
leave the board as is. Like I don't want them to come in and erase it. Leave it as is. Okay. So don't change it. Okay. So when something is as is, there's no changing it. Okay? You can change it, but there's going to be no changes made. So as is. So because it is as it is now the way that it is, so it will be as is. Does that make sense? Okay? Alright. So no changes. No changes will be made, I can say. Alright,
Be
yes.
made.
Play by ear. Okay. Play it by ear. Okay, so play it by ear means no planning things. So no planning it. We're gonna play it by ear. So what it comes from is musicians. Okay? Musicians read sheet music. And they play the song, they play the piano, whatever, and they read the sheet music. The sheet music is the plan for the music. Okay? When I was teaching myself to play piano, when I took lessons, I read sheet music. Then for 4 or 5 years, I didn't take lessons. And then I liked a girl, I thought I'd learn how to play piano, so I'd impress her. But I couldn't read sheet music anymore. So I played by ear. I would listen to a song and I'd be like, no, that no, right? So I'm listening, so I'm playing the song by ear, okay? So when you play it by ear, you don't have a plan, you're just trying to do it. So if I go on vacation and the first day, hey, what do you want to do today? I don't know, let's just go out and we'll just play it by ear. It just means we're just going to go out, see what happens. If we're walking around, oh, let's go do this. Walk around somewhere, oh, hey, look at this over there, this is interesting. You're playing it by ear. You're not planning things out. Right?
If my friends come to Taiwan, if she said play it by ear, that means wait and see.
Yeah, so like say that you want to go see 101, but then they come here and every single day there's clouds. So if you go up into 101, you're not going to see anything. So then why plan it, right? We're going to play it by ear. If the weather's nice, then we'll go, right? So it's just, there's no planning, right? Maybe they have some ideas of what they want to do, but they don't want to plan it out, right? Yes.
Fair enough. At the beginning of the class, you asked everyone how week, and she said so, and you said because of work.
Yeah.
And what?
So fair enough.
Fair.
Fair enough. What's the way that I can describe it? Fair enough. So like, it's like when someone makes an argument, right? And you say fair enough. To be fair is to be equal, to be even. So if it's fair enough, it's like saying saying, okay, I see what you're saying, kind of thing. Like, you've made your argument and you've made it to a point where I understand your argument, sort of thing. So like, I just bought this pizza. I know you're hungry, so I'll give you 2 pieces. Okay, fair enough, right? Like, because they're hungry, they want to eat, they bought pizza, so I'm not gonna say you give me half. I didn't pay you money, right? So fair enough, all right? So it's like saying like, what's a better way to say it? Let me see if I can find a better way to explain it. Because, yeah, I know what it means, I know how to use it in context, but like to describe it, yeah, it's acceptable. Something is acceptable, right? Right? You like going like, a lot? Right? Something like that, kind of. That's how. Right? Alright. Other expressions, other words. Amy. I'll get you next.
If I see a kid and
Which never happens here at JS. You never see it.
he gets hurt, gets got bleeding, can I ask
He gets cut.
cut?
Got bleeding? Yeah. He is bleeding, right?
Can I ask him, is he hurt or is it painful?
Yeah, I mean, you could say, does it hurt? And if he's bleeding, you know he's hurt. So you don't need to say, are you hurt? It's better to say, does it hurt?
Does.
Because that's different. It's, are you hurt is, did you get hurt? I can't see it. It's, are you okay? Right? But does it hurt is like, is it painful? Okay, so you can say, does it hurt? Is it painful? Chances are, with a kid and a cut, yes. It's the end of the world. Right? Okay? Like, even if it doesn't hurt, they see an adult sees it and they just right? Okay? So you don't really even need to necessarily ask that. A lot of the times, I don't know. Not even that. For me, it's more of a psychological, you just go, okay, let's go over here, clean it up, and you don't even address it. Don't address the pain, because then they're gonna ham it up even more, right? Okay? When I used to teach swim lessons, they'd be like, Mr. King, I don't know if I can go swimming, I have a cut here, and you look and you're like, I can't see anything you're talking about, like, but it's a little kid, right? I go, okay, well, we can go get scissors and we can cut your finger off, and then you won't feel it anymore. And then they go, no, and then they just, so you try and redirect, right? Of course, don't tell people I'm going to cut their fingers off, but it's something to just kind of readdress it. So for me, yes, that's the way, are you hurt? Is only if you don't see, like, right? Does it hurt would be like, is it painful for you? So you can ask that, but use your own discretion. Do you want them to like, right? Or do you just say, okay, just address it and say, okay, come with me, let's clean it. Let's, and just do that. So, yeah, I avoid questions like that because then, because the kid falls over, bumps their head, no adults around, gets up, runs away, and keeps playing, right? Adults run, right? So I don't address it. I just say, let's go clean it. That's a whole other thing, not English language, that's a psychology. All right, Judy.
Okay. May I ask water, play it by ear, not, why is not by ears? We have 2 ears, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that play it by ear is, I get what you're saying, and it makes total sense. But the way that I envision it when I hear that is someone going, right? Like trying to concentrate and listen. So they're listening, yeah, we're listening with both ears, but it gives the impression of being like, right? So, yeah. Play it by ears Yeah, that just sounds awkward for some reason. But that's just because my whole life it's been played by ear. So if it was played by ears, I'd probably think that's normal too. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Other phrases, other expressions, other words. Really?
Don't cry over
Over spilled milk. Okay. Don't cry over spilled milk. Okay, so don't cry over spilled milk. Is it the end of the world if you knock a glass of milk over and it spills on the floor? Nah. It's a very small problem. You go get a towel, you wipe it up. Okay? So if you imagine a child is sitting there drinking a glass of milk and they knock it over and once again, right? They think it's the end of the world. Okay? So don't cry over spilled milk just means don't get upset about a small problem. Okay? So it's just saying, hey, that problem's small. Let's not get upset about it, okay? Okay. That one is a rare one that you'll hear. A lot of the times it's used to talk to children. Because it's using a situation that they can be familiar with. And children are very emotional, right? This one, he told me I was a doodlehead. Right? And it's just like, alright, come over here really quick and calm down, right? And they make a big deal out of everything. So this is just kind of an idiom that's used, most of the time that I've heard it, it's used to talk to children, to be like, look, don't make it a big problem. Another one would be, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Same meaning, so you know what a mole is? Like digs under the ground, right? Ruins your garden, right? And a molehill is just this tiny little thing. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. So it's a small problem, but if you make it a mountain, you're making a small problem a big problem, right? So same meaning, it's just another way of putting it. And this one would be more of something that could be used with adults as well. Because the spilled milk is, I don't know, I rarely hear adults use that with other adults. Any other expressions? Any other questions? Yeah? No? Okay.
I don't know how to read.
Beetle nut.
Beetle.
Beetle.
Beetle. Beetle.
Beetle nut. You know what this is, right?
Yeah. Some courier get into the campus with cigarettes still lighting. And chewing the
Beetle nut.
beetle nut.
Yeah.
I try to stop them. I guess so. Get out of here, or say you have to put out your cigarette
Yeah.
and throw out your
Beetle nut.
yeah.
Yeah. Bin nut. Yeah. Bin nut.
Beetle.
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 Yeah. Beetle nut.
Beetle.
Yeah. Bin nut.
Beetle.
That stuff tastes so gross. I've had it 3 times.
Do you ever try
Yeah, 3 times I've had it.
3 times? Oh.
One time it was okay because my friend's like, no, this is really good stuff. But it's still kind of gross tasting. I don't know. Yeah. Well, to me, the whole thing too of being like, it's kind of gross. You know, just spitting all the time. You know? So yeah. And then I was driving a scooter once, and a truck driver threw out his cup, and it like landed near me. I was like, oh. Like if that would have hit me, oh, just so gross. So it's a bad habit. So, all right. Any last ones? No? No?
Got some baseball player chewing the
Tobacco?
handle,
Or betel nut?
not cigarettes.
Yeah,
烟草怎么着？
yeah.
烟草
It's called chewing tobacco.
Chewing tobacco.
Chew. Yeah, you can either call it chew, or you can call it chewing tobacco. Or it's also sometimes called snuff. But snuff is a little bit different. Snuff is more fine powder, and snuff was meant to be like, and it's still tobacco, but you would just sniff it. So snuff. But
Snuff.
yeah, it's not really called snuff very much anymore, but chew or chewing tobacco, and that stuff. Tobacco. So gross. I tried that too. I almost vomited. So gross. Many hockey players and baseball players. Huh?
You like to try everything.
Not everything. But when you're a teenager, you try things because your friends are trying them. So, alright. No more questions? Alright. So for today, I figured we'd take a little bit of a break from kind of writing, and I wanted to go over some idioms, because I think idioms are very important, okay? By learning how to use idioms in your daily writing, or even in your daily conversation, it can help you sound more like a native speaker, right? Because English has a lot of what's called figurative language. Right? Okay, so idioms are a huge part of that. So, what are idioms? Okay, so they are expressions which have a meaning that's not the same as the word's meaning. Okay, so as we saw here, knockout, fair enough, come to blows, as is, play it by ear, don't cry over spilt milk, don't take a mountain out of a molehill. Those are all idioms. Okay. And the best way to understand them is through context. Because the words don't mean what they mean. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. It doesn't mean you're physically like putting dirt onto a molehill to make a mountain, right? So learning them through context is the best way to learn them. Like I said, they're used a lot in English, and also by learning them, when you hear them from other people, it will make more sense. Because I'm sure, how many of you in conversations or in meetings, an idiom gets brought up and you're like, what? Right? I'm sure it's happened to all of you, okay? So, it helps you, the more that you can learn of them, it makes sort of conversation a little bit easier to understand. So there's types of idioms. So some of them are like proverbs, okay? Or sayings, like too many cooks spoil the broth. You know that one? What's broth? Do you know what broth is?
Broth.
Soup is mainly broth. It's like the liquid in a soup, okay? So too many cooks spoil the broth, okay? So the broth would be anything that you're working on. And if you have too many people adding to it, it's gonna turn out bad. Because everyone has a different idea of what to do for something, okay? Imagine that we all had to write a paper for a class, but we all had to write one paper together. Would that be a good paper? Probably not, okay? Because we all have different writing styles, we all have ideas of what we want to put into it, right? So this just means too many people working together on one thing can cause problems, okay? So, other idioms are short expressions that are used for a specific purpose, like get lost. What does that mean, you know? Get lost. Anyone have an idea? Get lost?
Get lost.
What, like,
Don't worry about it.
Ujinla? No. Get lost means go away. It's like you, go get lost, like get out of here,
Get lost.
right? Okay? So it's like go away,
Get lost.
right? Someone's giving you a hard time, of course if it's your boss, you can't be like, get lost. Because then you'll get lost. Okay? But if, you know, a friend of yours is like bothering you, bugging you, you just, get lost, get out of here. Right? Okay? Now, there's also similes. What are similes? Do you remember?
Similes.
Simile, where you're comparing something using like or as. Right? Okay? White like chalk. White as chalk. Okay? We all know what chalk looks like, right? Right? So it means someone's really pale. Okay? Binomials. So
I know.
that's spelled wrong. It should be B-I-N-O, not O-N. But either way, binomials. Okay? Safe and sound, black and white. Binomials. Bi means bicycle, 2 cycles, 2 wheels, right? Okay? There's also trinomials. The red, white, and blue. So that would be 3 parts. Okay? So nomial, it's talking about math. Binomial is actually like 2 numbers, right? Trinomial, 3 numbers. But when we're talking about it in language, it's talking about 2 things: safe and sound, black and white. Okay? It's not just black and white. There's gray areas, right? You know what black and white means? It's not right and wrong. There's more than just right, wrong. Okay? There's a bunch of gray area in between. Okay? Or safe and sound. To be safe and sound. So, sound is not talking about sound.
Sound.
Okay? Sound is talking about when something is sound, it's okay, it's solid, it's built well. This table is sound. It means that it's not going to fall over. Well, it could if I shoved it hard enough, but you know what I mean. Okay? It means it's built well. So if something's safe and sound, it's safe and okay. Right? So don't worry. She went home about an hour ago. She's safe and sound in her bed, sleeping. Right? It means she's okay. Right? So safe and sound, black and white, those are binomials, which means that it's an idiom that just uses 2 words. Okay? Not including and or nothing like that. Okay? All right. So he spilled the beans. Here's some examples. Spilled the beans. Have you ever heard that one? Spilled the beans. Any guesses? Peyton wasn't supposed to talk about the party, but he spilled the beans, and now Jessica knows. So we all know what beans are, okay?
It's not.
He told a secret. So the beans are the secret, and they were spilled. Okay? So he wasn't supposed to talk about the party, but he spilled the beans, and now Jessica knows. Okay? So talking about a secret, spilled the beans.
Talking about the secret.
Okay? Anyone else know another one for telling a secret when you're not supposed to?
Talking.
You ever heard let the cat out of the bag? Yeah. Hey, you let the cat out of the bag. You weren't supposed to tell him that. Okay? So letting the cat out of the bag is another one. Okay? Get off my back.
Get off my back.
What do you think that means?
Get off.
Get off my back, I'll get it finished by this afternoon. You don't need to keep telling me. So, means leave me alone. Right? So maybe someone's going like, hey, do you have that $20 you owe me? No, I'll get it to you next Tuesday. Hey, you got that $20 you owe me? No, I'll get it to you next Tuesday. Hey, you got that $20 you owe me? No, get off my back. I'll get it to you next Tuesday. Okay? So they keep doing the same thing, keep doing the same thing, keep doing the same thing to you. And you say, get off my back. So it's saying, leave me alone. Right? Get off my back. But this is a very strong one. You use this when you're starting to get angry. Okay? So if you said, hey, get off my back. Not the right tone. This is like, hey, get off my back. I'll get it done. Okay? So it's when you're starting to get more angry. Alright, we were in stitches. Stitches, you know stitches? Okay? We were in stitches. But, okay? It's not talking about like, oh, you got stitches. Okay? Another feeling of stitches. Have you ever like taken a breath in and you get like a sharp pain here? Have you ever gotten that? Not everyone experiences it, but something like 60% of people in the world experience that, where every once in a while you breathe in, you're like, that's called a stitch, right? It's your muscle just being like, just clenching down, okay? So we were in stitches. In certain circumstances, when else do you feel pain in your side? Not when you're sick or anything like that, when you're healthy. Like, when do you feel like a pain in your side? Huh? No. I mean, you're healthy. Yeah, no. No. Think of an action that you do. No? When you're happy. Laugh. Okay? When you laugh so hard, you feel pain in your side. Have you ever laughed that hard? Like your muscles are tired from laughing so hard? Okay? So, it means that you laughed very hard. We were in stitches. Okay? You're laughing so hard, you have a pain in your side. You're like, stop. I can't take it, right? You're laughing so hard. We were in stitches. Alright. He kicked the bucket. Who's heard this one? Kick the bucket. Has anyone ever heard of a bucket list? Things that you want to do when? Before you die. So, when you kick the bucket, you're dead. So, a bucket list is things you want to do before you die. Kicking the bucket means that you died. I can't remember where this came from. There is a book of idioms over here. I wonder if I can look it up. Where'd it go? Yeah. Kick the bucket. There's something, it came from something. Let me see if I can look it up. H-I-J-K. Kick the bucket on page 105. So, this will tell us where it came from. Alright. So, the meaning, to die. The expression was used in England. It came from a practice of hanging a criminal by having him stand at, so, you know, hanging, lynching, right? Okay? They would stand on a bucket, you kick the bucket out from under them, and they drop. Okay? So, that's where it comes from. Good thing about this, huh? Alright. Okay, get lost. You know this one. We just talked about it, right?
Get lost.
Okay? So, go away. She was dressed to kill. She was dressed to kill. Could you make a correlation there? Yeah, she's a knockout. She was dressed to kill. What do you think? Was she dressed to kill like that? No? Okay. She was dressed in her best clothing. Right? Dressed to kill. It's kind of like, like the 007 movies. The other spies sometimes are like, they call them femme fatale. Femme means woman, fatale means deadly. Right? Okay? So the femme fatale is like the beautiful woman that's like going up against James Bond. And she's like, oh, you're so handsome, and then pulls out like a knife from her garter belt, right? She's dressed to kill, right? You're too busy looking at how she's dressed that you don't realize she's pulling the gun, right? She's dressed in her best clothing. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm at the end of my rope. What do you think? Yeah, rope. I'm at the end of my rope. No, I'm not dying. What'd you say?
Help.
No?
Get help.
No. So you would say this if you are frustrated. Okay? You're at the end of your rope, you're frustrated. Okay? So I don't know where it comes from. I don't know what it would come from, because to me it would mean something else. End of my rope. So let's see. End of. Let's see what it says. It doesn't have it. Well, that's okay. But it just means that you're frustrated. You're at the end of the rope. Okay? You have to bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. I don't want to go into work today because it's Saturday, but I guess I'll just bite the bullet and get it over with. Means that you're going to have to deal with a difficult situation or a situation you don't want to deal with. Okay? Bite the bullet. Okay? We have that difficult customer coming in today. Who's going to bite the bullet and help out? Yeah, then maybe you might want to find a new job if you bite the bullet every day. So, just dealing with a difficult situation, you need to put up with something. Okay? Alright, so next. Stick to their guns, stick to your guns. You need to stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Not necessarily focus, it's the type of, if you're focusing on something specific. So sticking to your guns, right, means that you are, too many clicks. You're not going to change your opinion, right? You're arguing and you're going to stick to your guns. So in an argument, you're firing things. You're saying, no, but it's this way and it's this way and it's this way because this and this and this. And you're firing things at someone. And they're firing back at you. No, you're wrong because this and this and this. So you stick to your guns to win the argument, right? Because you don't want to change your opinion. So don't change your opinion. Just stick to your gun. Money talks. You ever heard this one? Money talks.
Money is the horse.
Yeah. So, money talks. It influences people, right? So it's not the people that do the talking. If you pay a big enough amount of money, people will do things. It's the money that does the talking, not the people that do the talking. Okay. So money talks just means the money influences people. Alright, so here's a list of common idioms. A penny for your thoughts. Now the meaning is when you want to ask someone what they're thinking about. Penny for your thoughts, right? Have you ever heard of someone putting in their 2 cents? You ever heard that? What are your 2 cents? Do you know what a cent is? A cent is a penny, right? right?
And
Okay? So giving your 2 cents means you're giving your opinion. So a penny for your thoughts means that you're gonna give someone a penny so then they tell you their opinion, right? Okay? So add insult to injury. Add insult to injury. So this is saying to make a bad situation worse, okay? So adding insult to injury, say that someone broke their leg. And you just go, oh, what happened? It's like, oh, I slipped and fell and broke my leg. It's like, you idiot. Why'd you do that? Well, they don't want to be insulted because they just broke their leg, right? So you're making a situation worse for them by calling them an idiot, right? So adding insult to injury. So this is for anything, not just, you're not going to use it when someone injures himself, but it's just say like, someone won the lottery and then, they lost all the money on a bad investment and then they took, they got sick and terminally sick, like deathly sick after that, right? They lost all their money, then they got sick, and they might die, right? So it's adding insult to injury. They just went through something bad and then something else happened, okay? Once in a blue moon. You heard that? Means once in a long time. It rarely happens. Do you know what a blue moon is?
It's unusual.
Yeah, it's very unusual, but it's just like they had like what was it? 2 nights ago there was the what was it called? The super moon, right? That doesn't happen every night, right? So blue moons like that because they also have like, is it the blood moon, where it's like the red moon, and that happens like what, once every couple months, right? So blue moon's even more rare than that. Okay, so it's when you say, oh, that happens once in a blue moon, it means it rarely happens, almost never happens. Okay, so see eye to eye. You heard that? You see eye to eye. Oh, I agree with you. We see eye to eye on this. So it means we're agreeing, right? Okay. So hear it. You can say hear it on the grapevine or hear it through the grapevine. Okay. So I heard through the grapevine that I don't know, someone is retiring next year, right? So that's a rumor. When you hear a rumor, you can say I heard it through the grapevine or I heard it on the grapevine. You know, a rumor. Yeah, you know, rumor. Rumor is like when someone says something's happening, they tell someone, then someone else tells someone, and then someone else tells someone. You don't hear from the source. You hear people are kind of talking about it. Okay, that's a rumor. Okay, so miss the boat. Okay, you totally missed the boat on that one. So it means that like you didn't understand what was going on. Okay, or missed the chance at something. Okay, so like there were 4 teachers that pitched in to buy a lottery ticket and they won $10 million, and I normally buy the lottery ticket with them, but that day I was sick, so I missed the boat on that one, right? I normally had my opportunity to do that, but I was gone that day, and then they all win, and I didn't put any money in, so I don't get any, right? Okay, so you're missing the boat.
Missing the boat.
All right. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So that's to solve 2 problems with 1 solution, right? That one's a very common one, right? On the ball. You're on the ball with this one. So to be on the ball means that you understand the situation very well, or you're not falling behind your work. You're where you need to be. You're on the ball. Okay. Cut corners. Have you ever heard cut corners? So on this project, I don't want you to cut any corners. We're going to do everything correctly and spare no expense. We're going to spend the money that we need to spend. We're not going to cut corners. Okay, so to cut corners means that you're like doing something cheaply to save money or to save time. Okay, so imagine like you need to run around the block, right? You have a building here and you need to run around it. So you're running around and then somehow there's like a hallway in the building so you can cut the corner, right? So you don't have to go all the way around. So it's just saying that it's a shortcut, right? It's either cheaper to do or it's faster to do, which is why someone cuts corners. So you can say if someone did a bad job, they did it too quick to save time or to save money, then you say, they cut corners on this, they did a really poor job. Or if you want to warn against it, you say, we're not going to cut corners, right? To hear something straight from the horse's mouth, straight from the horse's mouth. Have you ever heard that one? Okay, so straight from the horse's mouth means you didn't hear it from a rumor. You heard it straight from the person who it's happening to, right? So if there's something going on, say that, have you ever heard the telephone game? So I start with something and I say, I like to eat banana cream pies on Sundays. And then she says it to him, and he says it to him, and he says it to her. And it gets around and it gets to Paula, and Paula says, I wear banana shoes on Tuesdays. Well, it changed, right? Because she didn't hear it directly from me. So I'm the horse's mouth. So if Paula heard it directly from the horse's mouth, she heard it from me first, and me directly. There's no other people that said, well, you know, I heard that Nicole heard from Sophia, who was told by Danny that Kurt was feeling sick today, right? That's like between 4 people. That's not straight from the horse's mouth. As where I could say, I heard straight from the horse's mouth that Kurt wasn't feeling today. That means Kurt told me directly. He didn't tell Sophia, who told Danny, who told Nicole, who told me, right? Okay, so straight from the horse's mouth. Alright? So that costs an arm and a leg. I'm sure you've heard that one. Okay? It's so expensive it cost me an arm and a leg. Right? The last straw. The last straw. Have you heard that? Do you know what this comes from? There's like a story, I don't know if it's a moral or something, but it's about the straw that broke the camel's back. So like camels will carry a lot of things for people through that desert, right? And they're very strong. But say that you're putting, you know what straw is? Not Kwanzaa. Not that, right? Straw, like the stuff that horse eat and cows eat, right? The grass. Okay? So you put these big things up on the camel's back and you're just like, okay, there's 40 up there. And then you have one little piece of straw and you put that on there and the camel's like, nope, too heavy. Right? Okay? So it's the last straw. It's that's where the camel said, nope, I'm done. Right? So say that you have a friend that treats you badly. Right? So they treat you badly, you're like, it's okay, you know, whatever. And then they treat you badly again, it's like, well, I did that last time too, but whatever, okay, fine. And then they treat you badly again, you go, that's the last straw. You're no longer my friend, right? They did it too many times. Okay, so it's the thing that finally made you go, no, that's the last straw. Okay? So the final problem. So it's whatever problem, if it's the last one that makes you go, nope, sorry, I'm done. Right? That's the last straw. Okay? Yeah, so if there's a kid that keeps doing the same thing every day in class, every day, and then finally you go, that's the last straw! Sit down and be quiet! Right? Okay? You could use that. Okay? It's like the final thing that made you go, ah! Right? Okay, first one, take it with a grain of salt. Do you know what a grain is? 1 grain of rice, like one little piece. Okay, so a grain of salt is like one little thing. Now what do we put salt on our food for? To taste better, right? So when someone tells you something, and you want to be like, right? You're taking it with a grain of salt. You're hearing what they're saying, and then you're going, that doesn't sound right, but I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit on it, and then it tastes a little better. So you're not taking it seriously. You're not listening to what they're saying too serious. Okay? So it's maybe there's a possibility that part or all of what they told you is a lie. Okay? So you're taking it with a grain of salt. Okay? Sit on the fence, or you're on the fence. No. So if you're on the fence, I don't know. So I want to go to Okinawa, but I'm on the fence because I just spent a lot of money on my last trip, right? So that means like I'm on the fence, right? There's a fence. One side, yes, I will go. One side, no, I won't go. So I'm on the fence. I'm not sure which side I'll go to. Okay? So you're undecided. You don't know what you want to choose. So it's yes or no, right? Do you get that? So, okay. Best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. So that's used to describe like when there's have you ever heard of a win-win situation? Same thing. Best of both worlds. Right? So when both sides have something that they want, that it's good. Okay? So it's advantageous to more than one. Pull the wool over people's eyes. You ever heard that? Pull the wool over people's eyes. This is to lie to someone. To not tell them the truth. Okay? So, pulling the wool over someone's eyes. Have you ever heard of a wolf in sheep's clothing? A wolf in sheep's clothing. So the wolf wants to eat the sheep, right? But it can't get close to the sheep because the shepherd will shoot the wolf, right? So he puts on an outfit that looks like the sheep, so he's pulling the wool over his eyes so that he can walk in and then grab one of the sheep, right? So he's deceiving the shepherd. So this is to deceive someone, to tell them a lie, to be like, oh yeah, no, we're going to do that, and inside your head like, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so that's pulling the wool over someone's eyes. Okay? Pulling the wool over other people's eyes. Speak of the devil. You ever heard that? Speak of the devil?
Yeah.
Is that the Chinese?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you're talking about someone and then they come walking up, you're like, oh, speak of the devil. Right? So they showed up. Okay? So, feeling a bit under the weather. Someone asked this before. Was it you, Amy? Feeling under the weather? No, it wasn't you? I can't remember who it was. But under the weather. That means you're feeling sick. When you're feeling under the weather. So those emails that I get, in the future, if you don't feel so well, then I'm feeling a bit under the weather, I can't get to that. And I'll go, okay, I hope you have some sunshine. Okay? So feeling ill. Alright, so we can put them into different categories. Body parts, animals, nature, food, money, sport, or colors. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this today, but I'll try. So body parts, there's stuff like two-faced. Have you heard of two-faced? Right? They're like one way with one person and then another way with another person, two-faced. Okay? To take the words out of my mouth. Okay? So, have you ever finished someone's sentence? They're saying something and they don't finish it and you finish their sentence? You took the words out of their mouth and you said them. Right? All ears. Okay, this one has ears, right? So it means you're listening. I'm all ears, right? Okay, pain in the neck. You ever heard pain in the ass? This is a nicer way of saying it. Okay? So instead of saying you're a pain in the ass, you'd be like, you're being a pain in the neck. Right? So someone's annoying. To get cold feet. Sometimes, many people, before they get married, they get cold feet and wonder if they should do it. Right? So, thinking maybe you shouldn't do something. I'm getting cold feet. To foot the bill. means that I'm going to foot the bill for dinner. Don't worry, my treat. I'm going to pay for it. Foot the bill. Okay? Keep someone on their toes. Keep them on their toes means to keep them doing what they need to do. Keeping them attentive. Okay? Alert. I want to say it, but I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember the name of that person. It's on the tip of my tongue. Right? Have you ever had that where you know the person's name and but your mouth won't say it? You're just like, it's like their name went to your mouth but can't leave. It's on the tip of your tongue. Okay? You can't remember what to say. I have my hands full. Hands full is that you're busy. You're too busy to do something else. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay? Wish me luck. Right? Hope that you're successful. Don't worry if you can't write all these down. I know I'm going through them really quickly. And why don't I just do it instead of doing this in the beginning of next class? I'll just finish this because there are
Wow.
a lot of them.
A lot of
Okay? And then we had a little test, but that's okay. I didn't think that it would take that long. Yeah. Just to check to see if you know which ones are being used, okay? So we'll start on animals at the beginning of next class and keep going over idioms. I know it's a lot of trying to figure out what they mean, but I think it's good to be exposed to these and know them. And plus give you a little break from writing email after email after email. So I think you have emails pretty well squared away, alright? So, any questions? Okay, so you can go ahead, head on out, and I will see you next week, okay? Okay. Alright. Stay away from the beetle nut, alright?
Stay away from it. If I want, they throw out.
Spit
How should I say?
Spit out, please spit out the beetle nut.
Speed out. Speed out.
But, are they English speakers that are chewing the beetle nut?
And if they don't, they can understand the Taiwanese. So I say English.
Hey, wakarekomo. You can
Wakarekomo.
yell at you can yell at them, right?
Chinese
Yeah.
chewing gum.
Chinese chewing gum. Yes. Gross. Yeah.
In the military, we often say on your feet. What is on your feet?
Like stand up.
那个the security guard
You,
on your feet. What on your feet?
yeah. Just means like saying like attention. Or-
Attention.
Is that what it is? How is it being used? That's the thing. On your feet. When are they saying on your feet? And why are they saying it?
Test. They will come to do some tests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So second platoon on your feet.
So were they sitting down before?
No. Easy situation. So
I don't know. It could mean a few things. Because to me, on your feet would be like stand at attention, or it could be something else. So I would have to see how it's used. So I'm not quite sure. Huh? What are you trying to get him to say? Get off my back.
get on my back.